All right, we're live.
Hey,
We did it. We're here.
we're here. Yep. Sorry for the delay. John pulled the old switcheroo on us. But we're
Yeah,
here.
he
John
was
is busy.
unfortunately
He was
not
working
able to
hard
make it.
today,
Yep,
bringing home that bacon.
bringing home that bacon. Exactly. Yeah.
We talked about this briefly. Just quick off the top. Hey, if you didn't listen to us talk over the Game Awards yesterday, you should go. Can they still watch that? Is it even worth me
Yeah.
mentioning this?
I mean, I'll put it up on YouTube. I can put
Okay.
it on our YouTube even if you wanted to.
Sure.
Because like I have a copy of it on video, like on my hard
Sure.
drive.
Why not?
Okay.
It'll
Yeah,
be on our YouTube.
it'll be on the
It'll be
YouTube.
Paul and I talking over the Game Awards.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched the Game Awards and you want to, did that yesterday. You should check that out.
Yeah, for sure. That was a
As I
good
was going
time.
to say, and I mentioned this yesterday during the thing, but during the podcast now, you got to watch Ted Lasso.
Hmm. Were you watching more of it?
I've watched I've watched 7 episodes. There's 10.
Oh,
It's
okay.
on Apple TV Plus.
So you're basically done.
I got 3 episodes. I'll finish. I would have said I would finish tonight, but it's probably after this. I'm watching Mandalorian and then going to bed. I'll finish this weekend.
Sure.
But holy smokes, I'm never one for like, oh yeah, subscribe to a service and watch one show. This is the first time like, you gotta subscribe to Apple TV Plus. Just get yourself, the $5 a month or whatever it is. I have no idea how much Apple TV Plus is. Ted Lasso is one of the best shows of the year.
I will find a way to watch it for sure.
Jason Sudeikis does a fantastic job. The hype is real. It is like the feel good comedy you want.
Okay.
2020.
I could use one of those. Yeah.
It's so funny, and it's such a warm and inviting show, and the characters are so nice and enjoyable to watch. It is really great. My girlfriend was kind of joking. She was like, "This is really nice. I keep thinking something bad's gonna happen, and I don't want that. I don't want that to happen."
This year has
so
put
harsh,
everyone on edge.
Exactly. It's like, should I let my guard down? I don't want to be hurt.
Yeah.
7 episodes in, there hasn't been like some big dark twist or anything horrible happening yet. So
Good.
Yes, go check out Ted Lasso for sure. That is a really great show.
Cool. All right. I'll put it on my list for sure.
Yeah, I need to see if anything else is worth it on Apple TV Plus. I got a free year because I got a new phone.
Yeah.
Take advantage of it.
Yeah. I mean, I know like this is a video game thing, but if anyone's listening has recommendations, they can send that shit in. We'll read that.
Sure.
Probably not on air, but we will actually like talk about it if we're watching it. So, you know.
Yep. What you been up to the last week?
Oh my god, so much video gaming. So much video gaming. But we watched Mando today. It was a little bit slower than the last 2 episodes, but super good and important still. So it's still fun. The last 2 episodes have been a roller coaster though, so that's why.
All right, let's get into it.
Mm-hmm.
The top down perspective for December 11th. I'm Sean Booker.
I'm Paul Fleck.
And watch this.
Okay.
Questions. If you want to send a question in, it's topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box are all great ways to send questions in. I think we should start off with this one from Gu-Tang Clan.
Holy shit.
Most of the show will be about the Game Awards, but can everyone pick one thing from this major Disney information drop to briefly discuss? We should definitely do this because I am stoked for this.
Holy shit.
What are you most looking forward to?
Just to like peek behind the curtain, that's literally the last question even on our list.
I know, the whole time I've been thinking this would be a great like intro topic.
Okay.
I'll do this Buckaroo thing. So we should talk about this because we were just talking about this kind of stuff.
Sure.
I was like, oh, perfect. Let's just talk about this.
Sure. I just wasn't prepared for it. Okay.
Follow any of the investors' call yesterday?
No, but I have the list up here, and a few people have like asked if I'm excited for certain stuff, and I am absolutely excited for some certain stuff. So we have a big list in front of us. In fact, if you're in the live chat right now, I'll give you the link that I'm looking at here. So going down this, they kind of split it up in between like the different properties that Disney owns. So starting with Marvel, the thing I'm really looking forward to is I really want to see What If. But they haven't really shown anything about that yet, so that's a bummer. Out of the things that they're kind of like saying is coming up, I'll probably check out WandaVision, even though I kind of don't care about Vision. I do like
dude, Vision is cool. There's a comic series about Vision from a few years back where it's like a 12-issue run. I forget what the name of it is, but the Vision and his like Vision family, like his robot family, like move into like a cul-de-sac and try to have like a regular life, and it's super good. I'm gonna try and look up the name of that.
Okay. I do like Scarlet Witch, and I think she gets like criminally too not enough stuff going on when she's in the movies. So I'd be interested to see a little bit more of her. But like I gotta go with Loki, man. I really like Tom Hiddleston. And I think that character is just kind of neat, and they could do some really cool stuff in a show with him. So I'm stoked for Loki more than anything out of like those things. But
I
yeah,
think the trade is called Little Worse Than a Man. If you just look up Vision, Little Worse Than a Man, it's by Tom King. Yeah, someone in the chat is saying it's the run written by Tom King. Look that up. Great Vision run. Some cool stuff happens there. Vision is a fun and cool character with his whole family.
Okay, cool.
All right, I'm excited for WandaVision for sure, and it's soon. It's in like it's a month.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. But like everything just feels like it's further away because when you see 2021, you're just like, oh, that's next year. It's like, yeah, that's next month, actually. So,
it always comes real to me when like the gallon of milk I buy, the expiration date is either on or past Christmas.
Yep.
Then it's like, whoa, man.
Yep. For sure. They announced.
I'm pretty excited about kind of all the stuff that's coming to just Disney Plus, like the movies.
Sure.
I'm not sure if they said, because they did say that Black Widow will come to Disney Plus. Is it going to be the like extra $30 thing again? Because I don't want to do that.
I did watch that new Mulan. Yeah, that was not worth the extra $30.
Oh, actually, I just watched Mulan as well. I totally forgot about that. I don't like that movie.
I don't know how they made the like Legend of Mulan so boring, and they like added a witch and everything about that movie is just boring.
So my big problem with it, like, okay, but some of the best songs in a Disney movie are in Mulan.
Sure.
If you make the decision, it's not going to be a musical. Okay, it's not going to be a musical.
Yeah.
All right. But my problem with it is the whole premise of Mulan is, the girl. It doesn't matter that she's a girl. She can be whoever she wants. She can do anything. We're gonna break barriers. She's just like everyone else. She's gonna do it. Don't let the gender get in the way. But in this movie, they give her magic powers.
Yeah.
So it's no longer an issue of like anyone can do anything they want. It's, hey, if you have magic powers, you can break the gender norms.
Yeah.
It's like that's the complete opposite of what the message of this movie is.
Also, there's a straight up witch who's actually winning the war for the other side. It's not actually just a war. It's literally a witch doing a lot of it. Yeah, it's weird. It's not very good. Man, I feel bad for people that paid $30 for that. Holy crap.
That's a lot. That's a lot for sure.
Yeah. I was stoked to see that they're not going to recast T'Challa because out of like respect for Chadwick Boseman. I don't know how the fuck they're going to do that now though, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm super confused. Like what do you do? Do you just say like there's another one, like I don't know Black Panther in the comics very well. I'm sure there's been several people who have taken up the mantle of Black Panther. So are they just going to be like, we're moving on to the next guy. Here we go. Kind of, Cap passing the shield on.
Sure.
I don't know. Who knows? Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. That's a great subtitle. What does that even mean? But sure. Okay.
Yeah.
This is kind of adjacent. This wasn't at the investors call, but the whole like Spider-Man
Yeah,
3, all the cast members being announced. They're making a live action Spider-Verse.
yeah.
That's what they're doing, right?
Just like kind of grabbing bits and pieces out of every Spider-Man thing that's existed somehow.
Yeah, and they're
Yeah.
gonna come to, like I'm that seems very cool to the
Yep.
point where it's like my girlfriend hasn't seen the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie, and I'm like, well, we got to watch those
Yeah,
now
you're gonna have to
because you're
go
gonna
through
need
them.
to know.
Yep.
Like we're gonna watch two really good Spider-Man movies and then a really bad one.
Like like a really cringy one, because it still has a few parts that are
bad.
just like, this is okay, but then it's like, oh, this is, what the fuck did you do here? Yeah.
Like it is. I think the stuff with Sandman is fine, and I
Yeah,
think
it
that's
is.
what the whole story was, if I remember reading right. Is they wanted to go Sandman, but then the studio was like, no, you got to get Venom in there,
Yeah, you gotta push for it. Yeah.
and they kind of pushed him in there, and it's like, and all the worst stuff is the Venom stuff.
Oh,
Everything that
totally.
happens, Venom sucks, and the Sandman stuff's great. It's heartfelt. No, anyways, okay, and then a whole bunch of Star Wars stuff. Uh, Most of
Yeah.
these things
Yeah.
are Star Wars things I'm not really familiar with. Um, but
Okay.
maybe they mean a bit more to you.
I mean, the one I'm looking forward to, obviously, is I really loved, like, is it a spoiler to say Ahsoka and Rosario Dawson? I guess not. She has her own spin-off coming. So, like, that's, if,
I don't think it's a spoiler.
yeah. So, like, I really loved that, and I am so fucking excited to see more of that, of her in that role. That's exciting.
Yeah, that'll be cool. A lot of these, I guess I'm just not the biggest Star Wars fan, so they don't do a ton. Like when they say Star Wars Lando, it's like, okay,
The one I don't care about
sure.
that most people do is I don't care about Obi-Wan. Like, I like Obi-Wan. I like Ewan McGregor. I don't care about his story, honestly.
That seems to be another big one for sure. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'll probably watch like most of these. If not, like for sure, I'll watch the live action stuff.
Yeah.
But like I have a Disney Plus subscription. I might as well watch all these things. Um,
I'm excited to see what the Taika Waititi Star Wars thing is, because they haven't really
sure.
shown or said anything about that, and that dude does some crazy shit, so that could be interesting.
Yeah, has some good stuff for sure. But things like, I don't know, a droid story. I don't.
Right.
Maybe not. I don't know. I'll have to just kind of see. I bet. I bet not all of these will be like as good as the Mandalorian. So I'll
Totally.
watch the good ones probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Lots of new movies as well. And then okay, let's go on to some of like the Pixar stuff.
This is your
And
jam right here. All this
this
stuff.
is my jam in the Disney animation. So like Ray and the Last Dragon coming to Disney. So it says via Premier Access. That's
That's
I
the
don't want to pay
$30
$30.
thing. Yeah.
Like I'll probably do it for a Disney animation movie. I'll probably do it.
Sure. I think you're at least getting a mark of quality if you do it with like a Pixar thing. Like, at least there's that.
Yeah. I know. They also announced, I don't see it on this list here, but they're doing a like prequel movie for Buzz Lightyear. Yeah, here we go, Lightyear. Which this makes me think of, did you ever watch Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, the animated TV show?
I didn't know.
Okay. So he had a cartoon when he was like in Star Command learning to be a ranger. I
Okay.
don't remember anything about it besides he had like some friends because there was a cast of characters. I watched that so long ago. I'm curious if like it'll touch on that in any way, if any of those characters would show up.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be interesting. I didn't actually know
Awesome.
about this Lightyear thing at all.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's voiced
something
by
with
Chris Evans.
Moana would be cool. I loved Moana. So
Are they doing something with Moana?
apparently a musical comedy series for Moana. We'll see. That's 3 years away. Well, 2 years away. Yeah, that's okay. Wake me up in 2 years, and then we'll talk about it.
This is when the investor call, they announced this earlier, but Soul coming on Christmas is going to be fantastic, and they're going to put a Pixar short out on Disney Plus at the same time.
Smart.
Which that's great. I'm glad that's not going away. Like
Super
part of
smart.
the excitement of seeing a Pixar movie was, and I get a new short. So I'm glad that's still happening for sure.
I really like that they're actually doing stories. Like there's that it's in here somewhere. Hold on. Luca, set in Italy. Tiana's getting some more stuff from The Princess on the Frog. Encanto, for a Colombia thing. Like, I really like that they're going more worldly with a lot of stuff. They've been doing that for a while now. I just really like to see that continue. So that's cool. And there was something else I was interested in, but I don't remember what it was. And it's not Zootopia, because I've never seen that. What else is here?
That's worth a watch. I like Zootopia. It's not amazing, but
The only thing I know about Zootopia is everybody wants to have sexual relations with a bunny or something in it. Judy Rabbit? Is that a character?
It's the main character. I don't know.
There's there's people talking online about bad things about that character.
There's people talking online about wanting to have sex with every cartoon character. That's nothing new.
True. Oh, Judy Hopps. Okay, thank you. Oh, maybe I'm thinking of Ray and the Last Dragon. That's probably what I'm thinking of that I want to see.
Do you want to keep going with emails, or do you want to do games and then come back to questions?
Let's do games and then come back.
All right, let's do some games. Cool. So hey, Paul, what you been playing?
I played through 13 Sentinels 100%. That's my week. That was 4 or 5 days.
So I started 13 Sentinels. I played 2 or 3 hours of it.
Yeah, like area they call tutorial is about 4 hours long. And that's where you're kind of learning each character. There's no way you can talk about this game without spoiling something, so I'm not even gonna try. What I will say is that the way they do really cool sci-fi narrative things and interweave them together into one weird story that is paced out appropriately so that you're always given new information that is shocking and you're like, what the fuck is going on? And then it all ties it up in the end is actually pretty impressive.
That's what I'm kind of curious about kind of the gameplay. Is it from what I've done in the tutorial, it's just kind of a lot of just move to one character, talk to them, talk, and then it's like a weird overmap grid fighting kind of game?
Yeah, so it's
like that for the rest.
It's split up into 3 parts. There's a part called Destruction, which is kind of a real-time strategy thing where you are controlling your characters and mechs in kind of like a grid style thing that is the city. And there's kaiju or monsters attacking it, and you have like different abilities that you can use with the different mechs to do different things, and then it ramps up eventually and blah blah blah. So that's like the more gameplay focused thing. The other one is called Remembrance, and that's more like a visual novel where the main loop is you play through a character's story to kind of get their memories, and that involves talking to and meeting the other characters and like just kind of like existing in that world, getting keywords through talking to people, and then exploring those keywords more to open up new dialogue options and like different paths that you can take in different like parts of their memory opening up. I would say that's the bulk of the game. Out of like the 36 hours, I probably spend about 30 of it doing that stuff. That's like mostly all of it.
Okay, mostly visual novel. What's the third part?
The third part is just called Analysis, and what it is it takes like those keywords and the characters, and it kind of does a giant event list of everything that you learn, and different like files that you can read up on, and it updates them as you get more information. So if you ever feel like you don't know what's going on with the story, it gives you just a full like breakdown of the things you know already to just kind of like catch up on, which is cool. But yeah, it's just analysis. Just basically a giant list of the timeline of what's going on.
Again, I said this in our stream yesterday. I think the game is unnecessarily horny.
It's not. And I
Yeah,
can't tell you why without telling you the ending, so we'll leave it at that.
Okay. All right. I'm glad to hear it. Let me ask you one question. Is there a reason
Yeah.
why these people need to be naked in the
Yes.
mechs?
Yeah. There's a
Okay.
reason for
All right.
literally everything.
Okay, cool. No, I'm glad to hear it. Because at the beginning, there's just a throwaway line why that they're naked in the mechs, and then they never touch on it, and it's like, what was the point of this?
That's because when they touch on it, it's literally, oh shit, what? That's the end.
Cool. No, glad to hear it. I'm glad there's a reason.
Yeah.
Like this is the Dragon Crown people. Like unnecessarily horny is definitely up their alley.
Nah,
You know?
horny's necessary sometimes. That sorceress in that game was unnecessary, though. I will give you that. That was too much. It was too much.
Okay, so yeah, I plan to keep going through it. Right now, I'm in the like, I gotta play a bunch of PlayStation stuff because I'm not taking that back to Canada with me for the break.
Yeah.
So that's definitely one of the games I'm playing most, and I want to try and finish. I got just under 2 weeks to do that.
I will tell you the biggest bummer I have with it is that it would be cool if it showed you in the like destruction part your mechs fighting the kaiju instead of just like weird colored representations of where things are. Like it'd be cool if you actually saw that stuff, but of course that would have made it so that it came out 5 years from now, I'm sure, rather than like this year.
Right, and even during the like visual novel parts, there's not like a ton of animation.
No, it's like an cinematic
like a
sort of
visual
thing.
novel.
Yeah, for sure. And the other thing, and this is a big problem I have with it actually, is that when you're doing the destruction part, it's pausing a lot when your characters have a turn because they want to make sure you're able to like think it through and do your thing. But it is real time, so things are happening. It doesn't have a replay function at the end, and I think it would have been cool to be able to see like the battle go on without any of the pauses and like see like where my mechs ended up and stuff.
Oh, just to kind of watch the
Yeah,
battle in real time, and I see.
that would have been nice,
How
and
long
I
do
don't
those
know.
fights get? Because so far they're like the worst part.
Oh, really? I learned to like them a bit. They get, I will say, the final area, the last 3 fights-ish, were the only part where it started getting difficult. I was able to keep up and, like, absolutely destroy it. There's only one I didn't get an S rank on the whole time.
Okay. Yeah, well, hearing that it's only like 6 of the 30 hours is the fights, it almost seems like why are these kind of even in here? It
So
seems like you guys didn't really want.
there is story stuff in there as well. And you have to do some of those fights to unlock more story stuff and more story stuff to unlock some more of the fights. So it does kind of force you back and forth because of how it's
But I
building
mean,
the
just from
timeline.
like a writing perspective, I think I would have assumed they could have just like not built this whole like fight engine
Mm-hmm.
and mechanics and just had more visual novel.
Yeah, it
So
seems
I'm
like they
wondering, like,
wanted to.
if it's in there such a small amount, it's like, why is it here? Like, what was the draw to like? We need to have this whole other component, but then barely kind of touch it in
I think they
comparison.
just
It's like,
wanted to do it. Like, there's no reason.
yeah, I need to play more. My hearing kind of, yeah, the 30-6 ratio makes me think like, hey, we wanted to try something, and maybe they want to make a full-fledged game out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's kind of what their hopes are down the way, but
Yeah.
I don't know. My one nitpick is when you're talking to someone and you're doing the visual novel, then they'll like finish a thought,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to select them again to keep talking, and it's like, yo, if you had more to say, just keep going. Like, why are you stopping?
Oh, because there are points where you can get more information and consider those in your head before continuing to talk with them. But at the beginning, it doesn't feel like there's a reason for it.
Yeah, because right now I haven't had too many like, oh,
Yeah.
now I got like 2 options. Kind of, it's like, oh no, I already did all the stuff in my head. I haven't gotten anything new. Like,
Yeah.
going. Like, wait, why'd you stop? Like, just keep
Yeah.
going.
I think it's just the way they coded it, just so yeah, it's weird for sure. Especially
Okay,
because
and
like
you
there were a
playing it?
lot of times where I would have my hot cocoa and I just wanted to like kind of watch it play out and sip on my cocoa, but I kept having to pick up my controller to hit X to continue the conversation. Yeah. Okay, that's all I played though. That's it.
Right. Played the big new release. But I played some Cyberpunk 2077.
How big is
At
your
the
dong?
moment, I'm playing a lady that does not have a dong.
Okay, I'm glad that you added that because I was gonna still ask you if you were just like I'm playing a lady. It's like, yeah, how big is your dong?
Like, oh yeah, I'm
Yeah.
playing a lady without a dong.
Okay.
I played it maybe 3 or 4 hours. I can't quite remember. Slow start.
Yeah, I've
Uh,
heard this.
it is very much like they're trying to tell you this story.
Yep.
I've done like maybe one major gunfight.
Has Keanu talked to you?
I haven't even met him. I don't.
Okay.
Nope. No,
So
I've
he's
not
not
met
at the
Keanu yet.
beginning.
I
Okay.
keep thinking like I should keep playing to at least Keanu. I don't know when he shows up, but yeah, I have not got there yet. I
Okay.
understand he is in a lot of that game because he is very core to that story. But yeah, like I said, slow beginning. I've only really been doing story missions as well. But even so, that's maybe like done maybe 3 story missions so far. Um, I've done the like what is it? The brain dance, which is Batman detective mode, where you like scrub through video footage in a 3D space, and you can change the lenses to like I want to see the infrared of what this you know tape looked like, and oh, I want to listen to key sounds to piece things together. That seems cool, but I did that in Batman, so maybe there'll be something kind of really exciting in here.
I have 2 questions.
Uh,
Can you be a rigger?
is that
A rigger, like a character that like deals with drones and vehicles.
you can hack stuff. The only thing I've been able to hack so far is like turning off cameras so they won't see me when I go past them.
Okay.
I've hacked a few things that can like distract an enemy, like make them go over there. And then in the tutorial, I was able to hack somebody's grenades, so they just went off while they were holding them.
Okay.
I have not seen the option to hack drones or anything big yet.
But you don't like have a drone pet companion or something like that?
Don't. I did just in a mission. I did just get what looked like a spider drone.
Okay.
But I'm supposed to be handing that off to someone. I would not be surprised if something happens where I'm like, no, I'm gonna keep this.
Okay.
I got a drone guy.
And
There are like auto turrets and stuff, and I believe I've heard you can hack those, so they'll help be on your side.
okay.
What's kind of interesting is when you're in the one firefight I've had so far, other enemies hacked me. So
Okay.
every now and then I would just overheat, just light on fire for a little bit.
Sure. Yeah, that
Um,
makes sense.
that was super annoying. So I had to like, so you got to find the person who's hacking you and kill them so that it would stop. Um, I did just get a perk that will now kind of point out to me when someone's like hacking me and like highlight them. So I know I got to get over to him right now and stop this because I want to stop being lit on fire. Very confusing. It did not really tell me why I was on fire every like 15 seconds during this fight. Um,
It doesn't give you like a weird indication that you're being hacked or anything like that? Or is it
may
just
have at the
like,
very beginning, but like in the middle of a gunfight, I had like
oh,
9 other things to focus on.
yeah.
Um,
I got you.
that's the thing. This game is so dense. Like, oh, holy shit, it is so dense.
Yeah.
There is at least 11 different skill trees.
Sure. Do you use karma to level them up? And does anybody call
No,
you
you
chummer?
just have not had either of those. I
Okay.
don't know what you're referencing.
Oh, Cyberpunk,
um,
Shadowrun specifically, but Cyberpunk games, I guess.
I have not. I don't think I've heard of chummer.
Okay, that's a
Um,
Shadowrun thing. Do they have a weird? What's the way to put this? American Chinese Japanese lingo that like they use with each other. That's kind of like odd, futury.
Maybe I've really only talked to my one dude who he seems of some kind of like Latino descent, and he has some
Okay,
Spanish put in there. I'm sure there's going to be other characters with stuff.
sure.
A lot of Japanese influence, but that's
Yeah.
just kind of cyberpunk in
Yep.
general. I would say. Um,
Okay. Cool.
again, haven't done. So you get 3 paths at the beginning of where you want to start from. I picked Corpro, which just kind of seemed like I haven't really done them before. Your three options are been set up besides Corpo, Street Kid, which you like, you grew up on the streets of Night City,
Sure.
yada yada yada. And then the other one is something about you're like an outsider. You lived in like kind of
Okay.
out on the farms and stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
I picked Corpo. You're a business person who gets like betrayed, and then you start the story. That just seemed like a story I hadn't really played before. Street Kid sounds like every single RPG.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so does the Hicks one a bit as well. So Corpo, I didn't change much. I did maybe like half a mission before it was like, oh, now I'm doing some pretty generic stuff. So it doesn't change too much, but you do get different dialogue options as you go through the main game based on whatever starting path you picked.
Sure.
So it'll say, because you in the dialogue, V is voiced. You get to respond in different ways, and it'll just say like Corpo, and then you can say something. And it's usually, for me, it's something like, if we're talking about businesses or industries, I'll have some like insider knowledge on, oh, I've done this before.
Yeah,
I know I've been in that lifestyle. I know exactly
how this works.
Hard it is to get shipments moved, stuff like that. Whatever.
I'm interested to see if there's a point where you have to talk to like some street toughs or whatever, and it's like you just aren't able to talk with them properly because they can smell that you're a corporate piece of shit or something.
No, well, I'm not. That's the thing, is halfway through like the very first mission, I'm no longer. I'm X'd out of being a corporate person, and now I'm just a hacker on the streets.
Mm-hmm.
That's the game. So I'm like, I have a background in being a corporate person, but no one refers to me as that. I'm a vigilante basically at this point.
Sure. Okay.
The gun is the fighting is wonky. It seems a little loose, and I'm having a hard time telling if it's because I need to just put like a bunch of perk points into stabilizing stuff, or if it is just that's how it's going to be. It's hard to tell. Haven't had much bugs. I've had friends who are saying the game's crashing for them. I'm playing on the Xbox Series X, which means I am playing the Xbox One version because there is not a current gen version out yet, and there is no release date for when that optimized version will be coming out.
Okay.
So the Xbox One version, being played on the Series X, doesn't look very great.
Oh,
so I'll say
really?
That. It looks fine. It doesn't look great. It's definitely, but again, keep in mind this is not optimized for the Xbox Series X. This is a
but it should still do like it should still do like ray tracing and shit, right? 4K and all that.
It can do. It has performance or quality mode, so I can do 60 frames, or I can do 4K.
Okay.
I'm doing 4K right now. I've seen some screenshots comparing it to the PC, and it just is blowing it out of the water. It just looks weird.
Oh.
Let me actually get you one, because you should really see this. I have one saved on my Twitter because I sent it to a friend.
Okay.
You can drop it in the chat as well.
Oh, okay.
Go.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see.
I'll just drop it in the chat, and you can grab that link there.
Sure.
There's a PC screenshot compared to an Xbox Series X. Mine didn't look that bad.
There's no what? Okay.
Not great, right?
This is a Series X. I understand I'm playing the 1X version. HDR is on. This is performance versus quality mode.
They're playing with 60 frames, not
4K. Sure, that makes a little more sense. This is a direct screen share capture. I didn't mess with it.
I will say mine hasn't looked that bad. It doesn't look anywhere near as good as that PC one. I've got that mission is pretty early on, so I actually just did that before the show, and I kind of was watching for it. I'm not going to wait for the upgrade, because who knows when that's coming.
Sure, yeah.
The only bug I've run into is I walked into a bar and there was a person T-posing, and honestly, I couldn't tell if that was a bug or if the person was supposed to T-pose because people are cyborgs in this game. Maybe that was a weird joke, but I'm pretty sure they were not supposed to, because I was able to talk to them and they were like, "What do you look like? What's up with you, man?" And they had their regular response, and I was like, "I don't think you're supposed to be T-posing," but anyway, I'm gonna move on. But it did make me pause for a second. I was like, oh, okay, maybe they're just like their cybernetics are freaking out. Who knows? Anyway, I'm looking forward to getting more into it. Definitely want to hang out with Keanu, see what that's all about.
Yeah.
Um, but for the most part, I'm having fun. Again, though, it is so dense. Holy crap, there is so much going on. I still can't believe there's at least 11 skill trees. That is ridiculous. There's a lot you can like customize and whatnot.
Cool.
So yeah, that's Cyberpunk 2077.
Nice.
All right. So I jumped into the new expansion for Destiny 2.
Yeah.
It's
What do you think?
called
Beyond Light.
Light. I knew it had light in the name. I'm having a good time. Like I said to you yesterday, you start under-leveled, which is just bizarre to me.
It kind of stays that way too, unless you like get lucky or grind a little bit.
They flattened everyone out to 1050 is the new level. The first mission you play, the introductory mission to this expansion, is at 1070.
Yep.
And you're pretty much like 20 points below the whole time.
Yeah.
Which was getting difficult for us.
Yep.
We were getting like one-shotted by bosses to the
Yep.
point where we're like, should we grind? Or do we just gotta get good? And we just kind of said, let's just get good because we just went through a whole mission and we're like halfway through this boss. Like we can do it.
Sure.
But we had to like really focus. The first boss fight was actually pretty fun and interesting.
Which one was that?
It's the one that like takes the floor out from under you a couple times.
Yeah.
It was cool. That was a fun boss fight for sure. And then on the last leg of it, they give you the ice powers again, and it's like, oh, it's time. Let's go.
Yeah.
That was pretty enjoyable. But we got to the point where we're like, I think we gotta do some grinding. So we're probably gonna like run some strikes.
Sure.
Get our number up there. Is there a way to select which strike you want to do? Or is it always random?
Can you do it from the map itself?
On the map, can't you like pick to go and do a strike to like make up for a strike off the map?
Yeah, but there's also like,
if I remember correctly, it's always been random.
Yeah, but there's also like actually on the map where like strikes are, like on the different planets and stuff.
I don't think I've seen them split up like that.
Okay, yeah. No, I usually just do the random, and it's usually just the one for like the nightfall for the weekly or whatever, where it's just the same one over and over.
Yeah, so that's a bummer. Because I've definitely in the past have like needed to grind, and I was like, I'll do some strikes, and you end up kind of doing some of the same missions again and again.
Yep.
Which is annoying. Also, like with the new expansion, is there a new strike?
Yes.
Is there a? Okay, I would love to play the new one.
Yeah.
Like, please.
Yeah, I think there's a couple.
Randomly. Would love to play the new ones. We did one strike a couple days ago, and it was the one from the last year's expansion. Because I was like, I remember doing this, and it looks great.
Sure,
the upgrade looks fantastic. It looks so good. It's like I did this a year ago. Let me play the new stuff.
Did you notice that like when you do the ice stuff, there's like a suspicious amount more particle effects because new stuff should look good? It's just like, oh man, there's a lot of.
I did not know.
Oh, okay.
But it does look good for sure.
Yeah.
What class are you playing?
I play a Titan.
What does the Titan do when they have the ice powers?
I'm trying, just gets in the, it's the same thing, gets in there and just kind of like a slamming thing, like a melee ice thing. Okay.
I play a Warlock. The Warlock gets a wand, can shoot ice balls out and freeze stuff. That's the right trigger attack. And then the right bumper is I cause like an explosion on myself, and anything that's frozen just dies immediately.
Oh, okay.
Which is actually really good for co-op, because if we're both freezing a whole bunch at once, it's like, oh, let me just finish everyone off right now.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. But you were telling me you don't get the ice powers to keep until the end of the expansion.
Yeah, because like the whole campaign story is the idea that maybe you shouldn't be dealing with these dark powers that are not like given from the Traveler's Light or whatever. And then at the end, it's like, okay, you're the dude who can deal with it.
I guess, narratively, that makes sense. As someone who doesn't want to replay stuff over and over again.
Yep.
This just means I'm not going to play with the ice powers that much.
Sure.
So, But I understand it's it's an MMO. The whole point is, but I guess I'll really enjoy the ice powers next year whenever that
With a new
expansion comes
one.
out.
Sure.
I should also say, Beyond Light is free on Game Pass, which is just
Okay.
awesome.
That is neat.
So
Yeah. I didn't realize
that is
that.
fantastic. If you have because Destiny 2 is free to play, but
Yeah.
if you download the Game Pass version of Destiny 2, you get everything up to Beyond Light.
That's really good.
So
Yeah.
that's really great. Um, and the reason I'm playing it this week is the PS5 and the Series X updates are now live. So it's 4K 60.
Nice.
Crucible is 120 frames a second. I might, because my Xbox will let me do 120 at 1080.
Yeah.
I might
You
try
should
that
do it.
out just to see what it's like.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, we'll
And
see.
never go back to 60 again.
Yeah. Well, only Crucible is 120, so it's only for
Oh.
Crucible.
Oh, weird. Okay. Huh.
Okay, last game I played to talk about is Haven.
Yeah.
This is the new game. I forget the name of the studio, but they did Fury.
Yes.
And you can kind of tell because the art style, like the color palette and such, looks the same.
Sure.
Um, Real bright colors, a lot of like contour lines around everything. Everything is like not a lot of like texture, just a lot of like solid, plain, like flat colors. Um, this is a super unique game. I guess at its core, it's kind of a survival game, kind of Metroidvania esque. Um, but you play as one of two people in a relationship. Uh, you and the other person's name. And you can just jump back and forth
Oh, okay. I was going to ask
between
you
the
that.
two of them. They're always together. I actually think this game might have a local co-op. Local sucks, so I'm not going to do that.
Sure.
Anyways, you have landed on this planet. There's a bit of a storyline. You escaped some kind of um I don't want to say like totalitarian regime, but you weren't happy on your home planet, so you guys escaped to this uninhabited planet, as far as you suspect. Although I'm starting to uncover some like ruins and whatnot. It's just the two of you living on this planet. Um, and the main mechanic is that you can glide around. So you kind of exit your ship, and then you can glide around these big like bluey green grassed plains.
Right.
And your significant other, they're in a relationship, will just kind of glide along beside you. There's these little paths called flow that will give you like a speed boost and will also refill your like gliding tank. You can use the left trigger, it's right trigger to glide, left trigger to kind of do a drift so you can turn better. Pro tip, in the menus, you can turn on the ability to move the camera around while gliding, which I felt was a lot more comfortable. When you
Okay.
start gliding, it like takes away the right stick's controls and just puts you on like a specific path. Which the gliding is a little hard to use, and I'm assuming they're trying to help you out, but I just found it way more comfortable to like look around while I was gliding and stuff, kind of to decide where I wanted to go. And you're picking up resources. There's a hunger meter. You're trying to upgrade your ship with of the resources on this planet. The combat is super strange though. So you'll come across these creatures that have been like infected with. I think my characters are calling it rust, and you're also using rust to enhance your ship. Anyway, so you like fly into the creature. Then the way the combat works is you use the D-pad and the face buttons, and each one controls one of the two people. And then each direction is the same for both of them. So up or on an Xbox controller, Y is both pacify, and I'll get into that in a sec. Um, Left and B is one of your attacks, and then right and X is the other attack, and they're the same attacks, and then down is shield. So you just hold down whichever one you want that person to do to fill up a meter, then they'll do that. And you kind of have to kind of watch the creatures. If the creature's about to attack, oh, I should get a shield ready to go, and yada yada. If you're both doing the same attack at the same time, after a little bit, you get like team attacks. You can do an extra strong attack, stuff like that. Once you've taken out the enemy's hit points. You can pacify them, which it like cleanses them, and then they walk around and you can like pet them, which is kind of nice. One downside is you can't really keep a great eye on your health. Your characters will glow different colors based on how much health they have. They'll be fine if they're like greenish, then they'll go to yellow and red, but you don't get to see the numbers until you like pause the game and just go to your characters and you can see the actual health, which that can be a little hard. It's like, do I have enough to keep going, or should I like shielding a whole bunch? I wish that was a little more clear. I wish the whole game was a little more clear. It doesn't really tell you how to fight. It doesn't even tell you can fight. I guess you're just supposed to like get attacked by an enemy and then, oh, I guess I'll figure this out for myself. I wish all of the game was a little more clear about that. I unlocked a map finally, which was a huge help, because I think the first like 3 hours of this game, you're gonna just kind of feel lost a bit more than I think is
like necessary.
wanted. I'm assuming they want you to feel a little lost.
Yeah.
Otherwise, and that's why they're not giving you any kind of assistance. But I would have appreciated a bit more, because for a bit there, I was like, am I even supposed to be going this way? What am I even trying to do right now? I have no idea what even my goal is, really. All I know is my ship could do some upgrades, but I don't even really know where to find those pieces. And then I lucked into, oh, I can fight these guys. What does that get me? Oh, I guess it opened a door. It's all just like trial and error. So, hopefully, listening to this, if you're going to try Haven out, this will give you kind of like just kind of keep attacking everything and interact with everything you can, really. And eventually, the game will give you some more, feedback on what you should do. But kind of one of the really charming things about it is the relationship between these two characters. Every loading screen, you get just a small little vignette of them doing something, whether it's them having dinner together, or one of them got hurt and the other one's taking care of them, or one of them sick, something like that.
Cute.
And then the way they just talk to each other, like they're just a couple that is madly in love with each other, and it's just really sweet and wholesome to just be controlling both of these characters and just kind of hanging out with their life and stuff, because you don't get that a lot.
One of them's gonna die and it's gonna be heartbreaking. God damn it. There's no way that ends happy.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
We'll see.
There definitely is a plot point going on about how they're back on their home planet. There's like a matchmaker. We're back to Mulan, and they were not matched. So there's some bit of like, hey, we're gonna run away because we want to be together, kind of thing. Who knows where that's gonna go? I don't get the feeling one of them is going to die. For one, the combat wouldn't work anymore.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, I just think that's pretty cool. So this is on Game Pass. Again, this is called Haven. If this sounds kind of interesting, I think it's worth checking out. It's kind of a unique game, and some really cool music. I'll also say, which does not surprise me. Fury's soundtrack is awesome.
Yeah, I was thinking about a question we got, I think, last week or 2 weeks ago that was like, what game or whatever has an underrated soundtrack? And I was Fury, when this came out, I was like, oh, Fury is an answer I should have probably said because nobody played Fury. The other one was The Mummy Demastered. Has a banging soundtrack for a game that nobody even talked about.
I remember hearing that. Yep, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, so that sucks. I wish I could have thought of that at the time.
All right. That's all I played. Let's go to some news. A bunch of stuff happened.
Game Awards.
Didn't know yesterday was the Game Awards. I say we just kind of do some of the big hitters. Again, if people are interested, they should watch it. They should watch us talking over it. Assuming this article I pulled is going to have kind of the biggest stuff.
They're not in order.
Off the top of your head, though, what is the biggest thing for you?
Oh, off the top of my head, the biggest thing for me was that Left 4 Dead 2 clone. I'm going to call it a clone, even though it's made by the people that made Left 4 Dead, called it Back 4 Blood. I thought that looked great. So
Turtle Rock Studios, yeah. Again, I believe they had said before that they were doing this, but this is our first look at it. I don't think there was any trailers or anything beforehand. It looks exactly like Left 4 Dead. This is Turtle Rock saying, Valve's not making Left 4 Dead 3. We'll do it.
Yeah.
People seem extremely excited about it. Left 4 Dead is huge. That's a very popular game.
Yeah, it's really good. I guess like the other thing, if I had like that's new-ish, I want to see what that like Callisto protocol is, because Dead Space looks creepy as fuck. It looks like it'd be something I might be into.
Yeah, it looks super crazy. Yep. Yeah, just kind of a lot of people being like, "Hey, we're gonna make one of those things again."
Yeah.
Some of the other big ones. I mean, this isn't a one personal for me. Sephiroth in Smash. Am
Stabbing
really
Mario.
glad that my Twitter feed is full of the image of Mario getting stabbed by Sephiroth.
Really good.
That's everywhere. I'm never gonna forget that. I'm glad that exists.
Yep. Put it on my
Aside from
tombstone.
someone's drawing.
Yep.
Put it right on my tombstone. Perfect Dark. I was not expecting a
Yeah.
Perfect Dark trailer.
True. Yep. I'm with you.
Which that was the most teaser of a tease possible. You got nothing, and then you got the back of Joanna's head, basically. Um, I,
Yeah.
Perfect Dark Zero is a bad game. Barely remember anything from that game. I'm kind of curious what this is.
Yeah.
What else? What else?
Meat
Mass
Boy.
Effect at the end.
Yeah. Mass Effect.
We
We
knew
don't know
Mass
what
Effect
that
was
is.
coming, and 7 Day just happened, and they said yes, we're working on the next Mass Effect, and we got a teaser for it. It saw, I guess that's old Liara, who was
Oh,
rushing.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, so that's exciting to think about.
Uh-huh. That is. I was gonna say,
Good.
Meat Boy Forever getting a date doesn't seem like a thing that ever was going to happen, and it's in 2 weeks. So
Super Meat
there's
Boy
that.
Forever coming December 23rd. Curious to see kind of what that is. Looking forward to playing it. Um, Sounds good. We got more Dragon Age teasers. Again, they're showing nothing
Yeah.
from Dragon Age, and it's another basically nothing that they're showing. Arc 2 starring Vin Diesel.
Yeah. I don't care about Ark, but that trailer was something.
Trailer's also long. It's like a 4.5 minute trailer
Oh
where
my
you get to see
god.
Vin Diesel scowling at dinosaurs.
Oh my god. I didn't realize it
Also,
was that long.
it's long. And then right after a um trailer for an Arc anime.
Yeah.
Let me just find this tweet I found. I sent this off to a friend as well. Um, whoops, I went too far back. Okay, here's the tweet. The Arc anime is going hard for no reason. Let me list off the voice actors.
No, I
in
know
the
it's
Arc.
crazy. Go, 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 go.
We got people like Gerard Butler,
Yeah.
David Tennant, Elliot Page, Malcolm McDowell, Russell Crowe, Vin Diesel's there, which I guess makes sense now.
Uh,
Carl Urban. What?
yeah.
Arc just got some money.
Yeah. Fucking crazy.
The Arc anime is going hard for no reason. Yeah, I don't know why it's going so hard.
Yeah.
Um, I'm personally excited about Open Roads, the next game from Tacoma, the studio behind Gone Home. Sorry, not it's by Fulbright, the studio
Fulbright, yeah.
behind Gone Home and Tacoma.
Yeah.
I'm always excited to see more games from them for sure. Season, probably one of the coolest looking games, I thought. That was that like biking one through like the fields, taking photos.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. I forgot about that one.
Really cool looking art style for sure.
Yeah.
What else do we get? We got Disco Elysium, the final cut. Going to be a free upgrade for existing owners. Coming to PS4 and PS5. No, this is in March. No word on the Xbox version or the Switch version. I'm waiting for that Switch version.
Sure. I'm waiting for this version now, especially seeing voice acting. It's like, oh, okay. I'm actually just waiting for this one now, this version.
What about new Evil Dead game?
Yeah, I don't care. They didn't show enough of it to know what it is yet.
All right. What else we got here? They showed more of Returnal, the new game from Housemarque. They came out. That's a full priced game.
Yeah.
Like $70 PS5 game. It's
I didn't.
American, so I don't even know what that means for.
That's 90 for us. Yeah,
Insane.
that doesn't look like I will be paying $90 for that.
I don't think so either, and it's also just kind of hard to swallow because it's a Housemarque game,
Yeah.
a studio I'm used to paying $15 for their games, if not it being on PlayStation Plus.
Sure.
I like their games. I don't know, man, $70.
Yeah.
We got a trailer for Fall Guys Season 3.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That comes out on the 15th. I guess I'll try it. I don't know, man. Fall
Yeah.
Guys has just let me down over and over again.
I mean, it'll be a
A game
free
called
upgrade, so why not, right?
There's a game called Evil West,
Yeah, that's
which is
right.
one of the worst names I've heard, but okay.
It's pretty bad.
There was a whole bunch of other stuff. I think we hit kind of the big things. But overall, oh, actually, another thing, right in my wheelhouse, the Swedish chef from the Muppets made an appearance. He is a free character now in Overcooked.
Yes,
You can already
yeah.
go and download that. That's fantastic. I love that so much.
Yeah, that was cool.
The Venn diagram, I am right there in the middle.
Nice.
Assassin's Creed. Okay.
Don't be doing
Anyways,
gang
that was the
signs
game
now.
list. In terms of some of the winners, The Last of Us 2 kind of took everything.
Do you want me to go through our predictions and stuff? Just an overview?
Sure.
Okay. You had 15 correct. I had 15 correct. John had 16 correct. And the reason why he had the one extra correct was because for best indie, we were like, there's no way it probably goes to Hades. And he's like, no, it does. And it did. Otherwise, we were all pretty on the mark with most of our predictions, weirdly enough. So that was interesting to me.
Weird. Okay. How many categories were there? Like we got 15 out of what?
I can tell you in a second. 29.
Okay. We got like a 53 on that test.
Yeah. I'll tell you the one we all got wrong, okay? For best esports host, we all said Golden Boy. And I remember specifically saying Shocks and then being like, oh, she won last year. No, it's definitely Golden Boy this year then. Shocks won it again. Good for her. I'm glad. Content creator of the year, it was Valkyrie. None of us got that. Best action adventure, we all said Ghost of Tsushima, and it was The Last of Us 2. Best audio design, we all said Half-Life Alyx, and it was The Last of Us 2. Best game direction, we all said Hades, and it was The Last of Us 2. And game of the year, you and I said Ghost of Tsushima. He said Animal Crossing New Horizons because it would be funny, and it was The Last of Us 2. So The Last of Us 2 is
the 2 swept.
Yeah.
Like, there you go.
Yeah. Otherwise,
and good for it. It is a good game.
We did pretty good in our guessing for stuff, so that was cool to see, I guess.
Yep. And it was fun to watch. That was a long show. It was like 3.5 hours, I think. Yeah. Anyway. Yep. All right, moving on. We got a bunch more news that I pulled. I remember what these are. Ah, yes. The PS5 had the highest launch month unit and dollar sales for a video game hardware platform in US history.
Oh.
The record before this was on the PS4.
Okay.
So the PS5 best launch for a console in US history.
Huh. Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
Crazy.
Quick little PSA, the Epic Store is doing its 15 days of free games during next week. A new game each day for 2 weeks. So make sure you sign on to the Epic Store, whether it's the client or the website, and redeem those free games.
Sure.
We've got some stats for the Xbox as well as some plans for the future. Kind of the overarching stuff is that out of so this is from November, the launch of the new consoles, 40% of new Xbox players are using the Series S. So that was kind of interesting.
Okay.
Makes sense with that price.
Yep.
300 is a real easy way to get in.
Easy to get in. Yep.
Record sellouts in Europe. And they have said that cloud gaming beta is coming to iOS and PC in the spring.
Okay.
Which I am definitely looking forward to, especially now that I have an unlimited data plan. I can actually fully take advantage of that, but I'm not going anywhere. So that's the other thing.
True. Yeah.
Buy my Xbox. Halo got a new release window of fall 2021.
I saw this. Yeah. Man, they needed a full extra year. They were not close at all.
I'm so curious, like, where it was at and where they were like, no, we need another 12 months.
Do you think it's from when they showed stuff and people were like, wow, your guys' stuff looks weak as fuck, and they're like, "Oh God, it does! We gotta work."
I I feel like it must have been someone being like, "Look, man, we can show this, but it's not ready. It's not ready. It's not ready." And then maybe the poor like perception, they were like, "We told you, we need to push this. We told you
That's what I'm thinking
it's not
happened.
gonna happen."
Yeah,
Um, or maybe there was just like, hey, if we don't hit, it's like maybe there's something like the time, you know, August 15th rolls around. If you haven't gotten the bug list down to less than 300, we have to push. And they weren't able to get it down from 8,000 bugs or something like that. Like a year. I don't know, man.
yeah,
What is the state of that game? I am looking forward to reading the book one day that is what happened throughout all of Halo Infinite's uh, development, because that I bet that is a long and weird story.
yeah, probably.
Speaking of delays, Prince of Persia Remastered is getting delayed out of, I think it was supposed to come out in January
Good,
or maybe February. Anyways, March 18th.
good. From what they showed, that needs to be baked a little longer.
But if you remember correctly, they showed earlier stuff than what it's actually at. They were saying that was like pre-alpha footage. It looks different, yada yada yada. But anyways,
Well,
that's fine. I'm
yeah,
happy to delay stuff, especially now. I got too much stuff to play right
for sure. Yep.
now. Destiny. They have announced plans that cross play is coming next year, which is great.
Yeah,
It's
for sure.
fantastic. Glad to see that.
We could do a raid.
More. We could do a raid. I don't know if I'll be raid ready ever, but yeah, we could do a raid for sure. Yeah. That actually means like maybe the Stadia version is like worth using, because I'll have it anywhere.
Yeah.
Now I have cross save and play as opposed to only playing with other Stadia people. I don't know.
Yeah.
Here's some fun little tidbits from YouTube's gaming
Okay.
site or whatever.
What is this? Okay.
So they'd kind of listed off. Here's the title: the global top overall games watched in 2020.
Okay.
Highest to lowest. Starting at the top. Have you looked at the list yet? If not, pause and you can guess.
Oh, okay. I haven't scrolled down yet. Is it on the front page
What do you
here?
think the highest watched game of 2020 was?
I mean, it has to be
You can guess
Minecraft.
any
It's
of the
always
five?
Minecraft. It's always Minecraft. It's never been.
You're right. It's Minecraft.
It's never been.
So let's see if you can get all five of them. Let's see if you can get all five. Minecraft is number one at 201 billion views.
Yeah, that makes sense. Minecraft alone made some of the biggest YouTube stars ever. That one game, so that makes sense.
If you can get the other four.
I don't think Fall Guys is one of them. No. I'm trying to think of like kids.
Fall Guys is not on the list.
Yeah, Among Us.
I'll give you a hint. One of these games you will never get.
Okay, so it's not Among Us.
It's not Among Us. To the point, it's not even that you are not thinking about it. I bet you've never even heard of this game. That help?
Oh yeah, Roblox is probably one of them.
Roblox is number 2, 75 billion views.
What else do kids play these days? I know they like building stuff. It's not Bug Snacks. Stop. Oh yeah, Fortnite, probably.
Fortnite is on there. I'm actually surprised you're not hitting these ones sooner. Fortnite is the 5th at 67 billion. You got to get that 3rd and 4th.
There's no way League is on there. Is it League of Legends?
No.
No, that's a Twitch thing. I actually don't know. I have no other.
So the 4th is Grand Theft Auto 5.
Oh, yeah, okay.
70 billion views. The 3rd is Garena Free Fire.
Oh, yeah, that's a free-to-play mobile game, I believe.
Okay, I was surprised you even heard of it. I had never heard about it. It's a battle royale. Apparently, It's huge in Brazil.
Sure. There's like AFK Arena. There's like a whole bunch of different weird games that I just never would have thought of. You're right. I wouldn't have ever thought of those. For sure.
So that's global top overall games watched. And the other list they have here, top 5 live games watched is Minecraft, Garena, Free Fire, Fortnite, Grand Theft Auto 5, and PUBG Mobile.
Oh, weird. All right, sure.
They also have a list of top creators, which I have never heard.
PewDiePie?
PewDiePie is not on this list. It's top creators by gaming views in 2020.
Oh, one of them, I know there's a dude that got so big that, like, he trends, whenever he does anything now, he just trends on Twitter. His name's, like, Corpse Husband or something.
It's not on this list.
Oh, okay. Wow, then I have no idea.
I'll read you 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. I'll read you these. Tell me if you know any of them. I've never heard these names before.
Okay.
FGTV.
No.
That's in the USA. Jelly.
Nope.
Netherlands. Flamingo.
Nope.
USA. Robin Hood Gamer.
Nope.
Brazil. It's Funny.
Yes, that's a Canadian.
It's Canada. That's Canada. Yeah, because the A is an EH. That's how you know.
Yeah.
Laser Beam.
No. Is that
Australia?
a LAZUR?
That's an LAZAR.
Oh, no. I have no idea.
Slogo.
Nope.
It's the UK. Mike Crack.
No.
It's Spain. Arab Games Network.
It's Spain? No.
No, that's not. No, Mike Crack is Spain. Arab Game Network is. It just says BH. I'm not sure what. I don't know what country BH is.
Is that Bahrain? Bahrain?
Hey, maybe I don't know. Okay, and the last one, Vegeta 777.
That is an amazing. That's like old school. Like, look at my AMZ, my Dragon Ball AMZ with Linkin Park.
It's also Spain.
Oh wow, what a great username.
I'm not gonna go through all these. I just thought some of these were pretty silly.
Sure. It shows that I know nothing about YouTube.
Most liked videos are.
Oh, there's no way I would get that.
There's a PewDiePie one in here.
Yeah, there's no way I would get that. What's a PewDiePie one?
PewDiePie one is called "It's Been Real, but I'm Out." LWIAY number 00106.
Oh yeah, 00106. That was a dope one. Like what?
Yeah. I have no idea.
It honestly sounds like some clickbait though. The like I'm out or whatever. It's like, oh, I gotta see what he's out of. Yeah.
What is he out of? Why is it been real?
Yeah. I don't know anything about YouTube anymore at all.
Oh, I don't.
So, okay.
All right, last bit of news. Oscar Isaac is going to play Snake in a Metal Gear movie.
Sure. That's fine.
Great actor.
Yeah.
Love to see this.
Yeah.
What do you do as a Metal Gear movie?
Like 24 with more guns.
But you got to fit it into one movie. It can't be a series, right?
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, give me your who do you cast as some of the big names?
Okay, is there a picture of Oscar Isaac somewhere? Because you kind of need somebody similar looking enough that he could play Liquid. Or you could just get him to play both parts.
Sure. Yeah, I feel like you kind of do that. I don't know. I can't think of someone who looks really similar to Oscar Isaac off the top of my head.
Sure.
It's being directed by Jordan Vaught Roberts, who did Kong Skull Island, a great movie.
Okay.
And written by Derek Connolly, who I guess wrote Kong Skull Island, Detective Pikachu, and Jurassic World.
Okay.
Okay, what about and maybe I'm just thinking of Morbius. What about Jared Leto as Vamp?
Okay. I guess where does this take place? Which era or who's in this? If Vamp's in this, sure, Jared Leto would be actually kind of dope in that role.
Who do you want in this?
Oh my god, I don't even know.
Who do you want to play the Zorro?
What a weird specific thing to call. The Zorro wouldn't be around with Solid Snake around. That would have been Big Boss's time.
Would have been. You're right. It would have been Naked Snake, right? At the time.
Who has a really good voice that you could just put a mask on for Psycho Mantis? Like a good raspy, almost snaky voice.
Oh, let me get his name real quick. The dude in Westworld. Man, Westworld. What's that guy's name? Ed Harris. What about Ed Harris?
Okay. Okay. What about Woody Harrelson?
What?
I don't know. Just throw him in there as something. Who gives a fuck?
Just like a
A
military
guard.
dude? Like, okay.
Yeah. Throw him in. Okay. I guess like the big one is who plays Meryl. You got to get somebody with a great butt because that's like plot specific.
I mean, you can also do. That's the other thing. Is like, how goofy is this? A goofy movie?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Not like a capital A, capital G, capital M, a goofy movie, as in as like the third in a trilogy. But is this like a silly goofy movie?
Yeah, no, I have no idea.
She got to be a redhead.
No, because you can dye hair.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Who's big right now? Because you need, I guess, star power, right? If you're doing.
Zendaya.
Yeah. Yeah.
Zendaya's big.
She's probably about that right age, too. I don't know many people in that age range.
Oscar
anymore.
Isaac seems significantly older.
Yes, he does.
Who's riding?
Who's riding?
Ryan Gosling.
Okay. Ryan Gosling. Chris Hemsworth.
Who?
As riding.
Who do you play? Who do you get as Otacon? Who do you get as Oh, I'm blanking on his name with the twirling guns. Ocelot?
Oh, Revolver Ocelot.
Revolver Ocelot.
I'm trying to think of like somebody older that would be. You could probably like. No, they're dead. Never mind.
Are you thinking like Metal Gear Solid 4 Ocelot old?
Well, he's pretty old in like every version of him that we know, besides I guess 3. So.
Okay, how about Gary Oldman?
Oh, that's actually pretty good. Wow, that's pretty good. That's not bad.
I want to see a long-haired Gary Oldman yelling "Snake!"
Yeah.
right into the camera, and like spittles coming out of his mouth. As his arm like betrays him, because it's actually.
That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, Gary Oldman would be pretty good.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know what this movie is. Is it just a military thing? Is it crazy, silly? Will this even happen? I feel like we've been talking about a Metal Gear movie forever.
Yeah, all these questions and more next time on who knows?
Something. Yep. Anyways, that's the thing. All right. Let's do some questions for real. Get through these. We already did that one. So Paul, why don't you start us off with the next thing?
Okay. So apparently some news first and foremost. This is from Sunny, by the way. Nintendo Switch firmware update incorporated the use of Google Analytics without notifying users, meaning in order to find out about it, you need to stumble through the eShop and notice it's enabled by default. You may opt out. A silent opt-out approach is really shady. I think it's worth mentioning. Nice tip. Thank you for mentioning that. I haven't heard of this before now, so...
That's true. Kind of side question. Whenever you get asked from like a game or a new platform or something to send in diagnostic information, do you do it?
Yeah.
You don't.
Okay.
You don't. I usually think, one, it's not an issue of like, well, what are you gonna do with it? It's more just like, I don't want to waste my internet.
Oh, okay. I don't want to waste my internet.
My bandwidth in any way. Like,
okay.
You know, I'm good.
Okay. Sure. I think also keep in mind most of my gaming is on PC, so if I have a problem, they can usually actually patch it instantly if like enough people report it. Like it's not a like on console. If there's an issue, then it's like, well, we'll fix it on the next update or whenever we get to it or whatever. So, okay, but Sunny also has some questions. What is the funniest autocorrect you've ever experienced? Mine was Nicki Minaj getting corrected to Nicholas Mahjong.
Okay. I think I have one off the top of my head.
Yeah. The classics like
I think
sick, dick, suck, fuck, duck. Like, it can just lead to funny situations.
Like my phone doesn't recognize fuck, and it always autocorrects
Duck.
to duck. Like,
yeah.
Come on, man. What are you doing?
Yeah. Those just lead to funny situations. They're not exactly funny autocorrects.
Yeah, I don't have a great one off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't either, unfortunately. And several months or possibly a year ago, someone wrote in asking games you dodged a bullet on. Their example was Sonic Adventure 2, and when I heard that, I immediately challenged the idea of dodging a bullet. This was prior to the TDP Plus episode of Sonic Adventure 2, so it might not be the best example now, but have you ever heard such a spicy hot take that your immediate reaction was to call bullshit or challenge the take? No? Because opinions happen, and I don't give a fuck about people's opinions on something. They can have them. I don't. Is it a spicy hot take to say Sonic Adventure 2 is garbage? Is that spicy hot?
I'm just trying to think, like, if it just kind of, generic game. If someone came at, not so much came at me, but presented.
If someone comes at you, that's a different thing. All right.
Yeah, that's for another thing.
Yeah.
Someone presents a spicy hot take on a game. It just kind of seems out of left field. I guess my reaction I would have initially think to myself, this person is just speaking in hyperbole, and I wouldn't take them as seriously as if they had presented more of a genuine argument.
I got an example for you. The Last of Us 2 has the best narrative of the year. Pretty spicy hot take, right?
I don't know if I'd agree with that. I mean, I think that's a fine take to have. You can agree to that. But if someone came at me and was like, The Last of Us 2 has the worst story I've ever experienced in my life, I'd be like, what do you even what? Who says that?
Maybe
that's
they haven't
thing to say to someone.
Maybe they haven't experienced many stories. They've never read a book.
That's also a weird scenario. Like,
they've never read a book. My
initial reaction would be like, you need to calm down. Like, clearly that can't be what you actually mean. Right. So I guess my immediate reaction usually would be like, okay, what you just said is bullshit. I'm willing to have a conversation with you if you can use your words. But if you keep just flipping desks, I'm gonna leave.
I think there's a difference between somebody saying that I don't like the story of something and flipping a desk, though. That's a little. There's a escalation there that's really different. No,
if they're actually saying, "Hey, I don't like the story of Last of Us 2," it's like, okay. But if they come at me and they say something so ridiculous, like such a spicy hot take, like this thing is absolute trash. It's like, what?
But why do you care?
Especially if everyone is, if the general narrative is kind of on the other side, I'd be like,
oh, okay.
You elaborate, or are you just upset at the moment? Like,
but like, what does it matter? If they're upset at the moment, who cares? Let them have their spicy take.
Well, I'm not saying don't have your take. In my mind, though, I'm going to be like, this seems like a little bit of bullshit. But if I'm trying to have a conversation with someone, it's like, okay, do you actually want to talk this out, or are you just trying to like dunk on a game here?
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Right. Okay. I got you. Yeah.
What is your intent? Are you actually like trying to have a conversation, or are you just shitting on something because you can?
Sure. I mean, but we're in agreement. Sonic Adventure 2 is the biggest piece of shit that we've ever played, right?
The game is terrible.
Yeah, it's fucking so awful. Bad.
I'm glad I got paid to play it.
Yep.
Kevin writes, what are some games that emphasize quality over quantity?
I feel like
I think I have the best answer.
Yeah, probably. I feel walking sims are kind of like this. Usually they're kind of more of an experience, and they're usually like 2 hours long or something. They're usually a pretty good example of this. The ones that are memorable or worth talking about anyway.
Sure. Journey.
That is definitely quality over quantity because that game is like an hour long. Like that's very short.
It's a bit. It's like 3. I recall.
Yeah, it's
There's some
exceptionally
parts that,
short.
but like it is really like it is a short game,
Yeah.
but it is like everything is going to be extremely like great here. Another one, Titanfall 2.
Yes. Yep, for sure. Uh, okay. What do we think about something like Slay the Spire, where the game's actually not long, but it has replayability? Is that quantity over quality? Because you can replay it, but it's not like there's a lot there, really. There's just
I think just
different
kind
ways you
of
can play it.
the nature of it being like a roguelike
It's more
kind of
quantity.
it almost makes it hard to fit in either of them
Yeah, that's true.
because by definition you're meant to play it over and over and over again.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Um, um,
Kind of outside
and
the realm of
I,
this.
I feel like the kind of general vibe of this question is like one that I would say is a quantity over quality would be kind of the last few Assassin's Creed games. It's
Sure,
like there's no real like super special like Taylor specific amazing moment. It's just like we put a lot of good stuff in here. Just a lot. We just kept putting good stuff in here. Is this do you like it? Come
sure.
on. You said you wanted this, and then you guys said you also liked this and this and this and
Yeah,
this and this and this.
like definitely a thing of like we put a lot of good stuff in here instead of we did one thing exceptionally well for like
Yeah.
a little bit.
Right. And that's kind of why like Ghost of Tsushima, though it is like an Assassin's Creed game, stands out to me because they're like, we're gonna do some like extremely good combat. Or like they kind of like focused and made some really cool like really high highs
Yeah,
as opposed to just like a general plateau of good quality
yeah.
and such.
The rare
So I again like Slay the Spire is great. I love that game. I just don't know
it
if
doesn't fit in. You're
I
right.
don't know what I would say for either of those.
Yep.
And a follow up from Kevin: if you could decide what the game with the I don't, this question's weird. If you could decide what the game with the highest score on Metacritic was, what game would you choose?
Tetris.
Okay, okay. Part of me is like, do you just pick your favorite game,
Yeah,
or do you,
that's what it is,
are you,
right?
or the other one is, I guess you kind of picked like, what game do you think deserves it, right?
Probably Tetris. It's
That's
just
Tetris is your favorite game. I don't know if is that
it's
true?
well, Tetris is probably my favorite puzzle game ever, for sure.
Okay.
Probably.
I, I don't even. I like Burnout Paradise a lot. Everyone knows that. I don't know if it needs to have the highest score.
No, it definitely does. There you go. Burnout Paradise,
Question.
100.
I guess my question is kind of like, what currently has the highest score, and am I okay with that being there?
Is
You
it?
Google that? Like what?
Yeah, I can definitely probably find that. Is that it's probably like Minecraft, right? Like it's something like that, I'm sure.
I have no idea. Because it would have also been from reviewers, right?
Okay, best games of all time. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time has a 99, and that is the best of all time. Number 2 is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. Actually, in number 2 place, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 things with a score of 98. It's Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, Grand Theft Auto 4, Soul Calibur on the Dreamcast, and then Grand Theft Auto 4 again on the 360. So 2 versions of that game.
Okay. Wow. I think that just makes it the real winner.
Yep.
I mean, I'm okay with those answers. I'm not upset that those are up there.
Sure.
The moment I don't really want to play any of those unless it's the remaster of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2.
Yeah, sure.
Soul Calibur on the Dreamcast. That's yeah, hell yeah. Interesting. All right.
Christopher writes and asks, what is your take on optional party members in games? If they're good, they're fucking great. If they're not, who cares?
Yeah, and you should read the follow-up because my thoughts kind of mimic a bit of that.
Okay. I personally don't mind going out of the way to recruit them, especially if they're interesting and cool. However, I find it weird and disappointing that optional party members often don't add anything to the main story or appear in main story cutscenes. Oh, okay, I see where he's going at here. I still care more about mechanics when I play a game than story stuff, just in general. So if they are mechanically good, I care more about that than if they add to the story.
I'm probably gonna want to like collect everyone I can.
Yeah.
It's like ridiculous. It kind of really depends. I'm trying to think, what are some games that have optional party members that isn't just like,
Final
you know,
Fantasy VII.
that was the one I could think of.
Sure.
Do you think of any others?
I think like all the Final Fantasies probably, right, have a couple.
Well,
I
because
don't know.
I mean, the original Final Fantasies, you're just getting like random
Like
classes,
fighter and red mage and
right?
shit.
And I feel like that doesn't really count.
Sure. Yeah, fair enough.
So, but like in 7, like you'll miss out on like some good dialogue and story if you don't have some of those people, right?
Some of the best characters in Indivisible were side characters that weren't part of the main story.
Okay.
That whole game is kind of about
And
like
do they
getting
tie into the story?
well, they tie in that
Like,
they're
tie
part
into
of
the
there.
story?
No, not really, but they're awesome. Yeah. Like they do cool shit and they have the dialogue at least.
People are saying Final Fantasy VI has 2 or 3 optional party members, but they're just there. Yeah, I feel like if they become optional, then they're not going to be like the coolest stuff because the writers are going to want the coolest stuff to be seen. Like, why would you want to miss out on that kind of stuff? You know, if you have a roster the size of Final Fantasy VII's, I'm going to want to pick them all up because it almost feels like I'd be missing out on something. If it's a thing like, I guess I am thinking of Indivisibles. Yeah, there's so many characters. They are just kind of there.
There's
sometimes
so many.
A lot of the time. Kind of depends how much story they kind of open up. Do they open up like a cool quest or some cool dialogue?
Yeah. I googled this and I just realized that I don't play a whole lot of JRPGs because the stuff people are talking about are games I have not played. So like
Final Inside in the chat actually says Fire Emblem. That's a really good answer. I didn't think about that. Fire Emblem has a bunch of optional characters that you can like unlock by doing specific things during specific missions.
Right.
I always tried to get those, but almost for two reasons. One, it was cool having like an extra layer of strategy required for the mission. Like, oh, I can't just win it now. I need to make sure I don't kill this specific guy, even though he's going to try and get himself killed. I need to protect the enemy while also not fighting the enemy, yada yada. Like those were fun little challenges to have. But sometimes you ended up getting like a cool class that I did not have access to. So that was fun as well.
This is a weird thing to talk about. Mass Effect 2 has a lot of quote-unquote optional characters and you can do side stuff with them, but they have really only one actual optional character with Zaid or whatever, who kind of doesn't really have a story. He's a mercenary that exists, and like he sucks, but all the other characters are great. So that's like a weird thing of both things existing in one game, where it's like I don't have to do much with these characters, but
yeah, Mass Effect only really has like one optional character per game, because in 3 it was the DLC one, right? If you like pre-ordered it or whatever.
Why do I keep wanting to say Jarvis? It was something like that. It's a Prothean character.
Prothean, yeah, it's something with a J. You're right. But the thing with him is he was awesome.
Yeah.
Because all of his like bonus dialogue was telling you like, oh, back in my day, these people used to like lick their eyeballs.
It was Javik.
Like, I feel like Javik, that's what it was.
Yeah.
I kept him in my party every single time, not because I like liked him too much. I just didn't want to miss out on all the cool lore he was talking
on the
about.
Exposition. Yep. And that's the weirdly almost like what we're talking about here, where that optional party member is so good that the fact that he was behind a paywall and like was an optional character infuriated a lot of people.
That was a weird choice.
That was a bad choice. Yep.
All right. It is Sal writes, the new Fortnite season is introducing a lot of new characters. Any opinions as far as adding Kratos? Assuming that's the Mandalorian. There's a funny autocorrect. Or the child into the game. Did they put the child in Fortnite? Can you play as the child? That seems...
Well, he's with the Mandalorian.
He's with the Mandalorian. Okay. They also at the Game Awards, Master Chief is going in there. Sure. Why not?
If I was into Fortnite, add it all. I want everything in my game. Why not? Why wouldn't you?
I mean, Fortnite seems to be like the less restricted Super Smash Bros. At this point.
Yeah. When they showed that they have Venom in that, I almost wanted to like download the game and get Venom, and I don't play that fucking thing. So like, they're definitely
that's how they do it, right?
it
Like
is.
they'll eventually put something that you're like, oh, I love that character so much.
Yep.
I don't like Fortnite. So what
Yeah.
am I doing?
Yeah. Exactly. That
Yeah,
is a
why
funny
not? Like,
autocorrect.
sure. Follow-up question: was there any good Cartoon Network games?
I don't know. I didn't grow up with
Think off
Cartoon
the top of my
Network
head.
in
This would have been a
Canada.
great John game. What are
Okay,
some Cartoon Network
Cartoon
games?
Network games. Oh yeah, there was a Steven Universe game I liked quite a bit. I don't remember the name of it, but it was on phones.
I think I haven't heard anything about like any good Adventure Time games ever, which is unfortunate.
Wasn't one of them okay? Because it played a little bit like Zelda 2. Does that sound familiar? I don't remember them.
That does sound familiar. I don't remember anyone really talking about it. That recent Samurai Jack game is bad.
Yeah, I've definitely heard that.
Problem is, yeah, these are like, tie-in games. These games are usually bad.
Yeah,
We just did a few months ago, we did the SpongeBob one. I don't think that's a very good game.
that's probably the best out of the list I'm looking at, if that counts.
I don't think it counts. It's not on.
Yeah.
No, SpongeBob is SpongeBob Cartoon Network? I don't think so.
Yeah, no, I don't think it
SpongeBob is
counts.
Nickelodeon, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Nick. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these cartoons are great. I like the cartoon. I don't like the show.
Sure. A lot of these I didn't even
Actually,
realize had games, honestly.
I haven't seen this show or played this game, but I have heard good things about the show OKKO, Let's Be Heroes. I want to say I may have heard okay things about that game as well, but I'm really reaching right now.
Sure, yeah.
Dexter's Lab, the show rocks.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about like cartoon tie-ins in general, I do really like the South Park games. Those are good.
Okay.
That's probably the best I can think of that I like personally. I didn't think the SpongeBob thing was too bad, and I know people have nostalgia for it for sure. So
Yeah, I didn't really care for that thing. I want to say the South Park games are probably like the best ones. I
probably,
do like a cartoon.
yeah, probably. Okay, Final Insanity asks, has there ever been a game that you wanted to take your time going through and doing side content, but felt pressured to finish quickly so you wouldn't risk having the story spoiled for you? No, I have not.
Yep, all the time.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head. Although I'm usually pretty good at avoiding spoilers. Luckily, knock on wood, no one really jumps out and tries to spoil things for me.
Right.
So it's not so much a point where I'm avoiding doing side quests to get it done. It's more I am pushing myself to play more of the game and getting through it. Getting through it being playing how I want to play it, but just in bigger chunks of time.
Okay, but it's not because the story spoilers. See, feels more like a John question because he does have people that try to ruin shit for him.
Sure.
I just like if I'm playing a game I really like, I just won't look at Twitter or Discord because I don't fucking need to. I'm just gonna play it.
Closest I would have it. I'm never worried that I'm about to get spoiled for something. It's more just like I'm seeing that the zeitgeist is passing, spoiler casts are coming out, people on podcasts are talking about it, and I want to know what do they keep referencing? They keep saying something really cool happens at the end of the game.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's like I want to know what this is. Like, oh, I'm missing out. I don't want to. I want to be a part of the thing while everyone's kind of talking. So I can be a part of that conversation too.
Gotcha. That left me since I stopped listening to video game podcasts. I don't have that problem anymore.
Sure.
It's actually kind of nice being free of that because I used to have that same problem.
I mean, I like it.
Sure.
I like doing it. Suku, what food from a video game would you want to eat the most?
Any food in Monster Hunter looks so good. Oh my god.
Okay. Yeah, the overcooked food looks pretty good, and it's so easy to make. I wish food was that easy to make.
Anime does the one thing that like every anime does whenever they show food, it looks fucking delicious every time.
Oh, sure. I would eat a magic harp.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that might be the only Pokemon I would eat. I would eat a magic harp.
Yep.
Follow-up question. John played a Picross game with Twitch integration on stream.
Okay.
What would that be like? Integrate Twitch on the games your co-hosts would most want and most hate to have the integration on.
All right. Twitch integration for you is obviously Burnout Paradise. The chat can type in commands or pay money to have things happen in the world, like cops coming after you or something. I don't know.
Cops coming after you. That actually, what cool one would be? Do you remember the racing game Split Second?
Yep.
Where you would trigger like big
A
events in the
building
map
falling
to happen.
down or something. Yeah.
Yeah, something similar to that. That would be pretty cool.
That'd be cool.
Oh man, I just had one off the top of my head. Another cool one would just be like weird stuff happening on the map in Apex while I'm playing that.
That would be cool. And that could totally happen. That's a big game with a big audience.
I'm surprised that like hasn't happened for like Fortnite yet.
Yeah. For most hate, I got one for you. Any Telltale game, any story-based game, the chat is able to just trigger the ending cutscene at any time for you if they want to.
Oh, that just seems like ruining the game at that point.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, this actually does exist. How do you feel about like chat choosing options for you so that like you're kind of controlling it, but like
a Telltale game?
Yeah, like a story-based game. Yeah, exactly.
I feel like at that point, am I just watching a movie? Like, what am I even doing if I'm not picking the choice?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I'm just walking to the next person and then watching a cutscene.
Pretty much.
I do. That would be fun to like. I'm sure they've done this where you can have an audience and people vote, and it's like, hey, let's play through it together, and we'll all just basically watch this episode of Life is Strange, and as a community, we'll vote on if we're doing left or right.
Yeah,
it's got to be a thing, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure. Yeah. Okay, for you, I like an easy, and I think an easy one would be like Hades, and then they can spawn in which type of creatures, whatever they want.
Man, that sounds so bad.
At the same time, they can also pick which boons come down.
Yeah. This exists in most roguelites that have integration.
Yeah.
This is pretty standard.
Sure. Yeah, that's true. That's an easy one. Okay, one to ruin it. I guess you could also go pretty bad in that exact way.
Yep.
Just the worst enemies, the worst boons over and over. You just get money every time. There's no boons. It's just here's more money. You nowhere to spend it.
Man, yeah. And then like somebody takes pity on you and gives you the thing that increases your damage by a percentage of how much money you have, and then you're like, all right, we're run saved. Let's go.
Let's do it. Yeah, sure, for sure.
Yeah, what if you had like, what if they could just trigger something in the game that just like bugs you? Like, Ace is saying in the chat, an option had to have Zeus crack a joke because I was saying how it's fucking annoying in that Immortals Phoenix Rising game, how every now and then Zeus is just trying to be funny or something. Like, what if there's just somebody trying to be funny while you're playing and they can trigger it?
Sure. Well, I mean, that could go good too. What if it's Spider-Man and then they'll just trigger like a great J. Jonah Jameson monologue out of nowhere?
Yeah, I guess it depends like how they integrated it. That's true. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, VGC Kenny, has a game ever physically hurt you? No, I can't say one has.
Yeah. Back when you had to the analog stick. I know everyone has like the Mario Party.
Oh, yeah, okay. I see what you mean.
I didn't have that Mario Party, but I had Dragon Ball Z Budokai, and to power up some of your attacks, you had to do that. I definitely wore the skin on my palms down.
Okay.
For sure.
In that case, then, you haven't played Mario Party? I fucking hate Mario Party. No, I didn't care if I lost in those games when we played. Who gives a shit? For me, it was Mortal Kombat the like test your might things where you had to like push two buttons extremely fast, but it usually just ended up you like doing this like weird motion across them or
Oh,
whatever.
okay.
And I just remember like ripping
My
skin off.
go-to when I have to do like two buttons really fast, if I like really need it, is I'll use both my thumbs, and instead of physically like pressing with each thumb, I almost kind of like lock my hands, and it's like I use like my arms as because I can do that faster.
Yeah,
That's if I like need to, which you never need
you
to.
never
You
need to
never need
anymore.
to.
Uh,
Um,
I'm gonna. This is a cop out answer a little bit, but if I've been playing a game too long, like I'll just because I play on computer, like I'll just start hurting because I'm on a computer for a long time. But that's not like a single game. That's just playing too long in a position.
um, the Switch Pro controller has some sharp D-pads, so sometimes that can get pretty annoying if I'm doing a platformer.
Okay, gotcha. Two-prong questions. Of ones that haven't been made or in actual development, what video games would make the best movies? Okay, and the second one is contingent on that one.
All right, video game to make the best movie.
Among Us. Just a murder mystery.
Among Us.
Knives Out,
like
Among
a
Us.
Clue kind of movie.
Yeah, it's Knives Out, essentially.
It's Knives Out. Okay, yeah. Knives Out is a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
I don't know, like it's if it's strange, that's I feel like that's a cop out because it's such a
Yeah,
narrative based thing anyway.
it is
Let me
kind
think
of.
of one that's not narrative based. So
Hades.
how about Hades? Yeah,
Hades would
I
make
feel like it
actually a
would.
great animated like series of like 10
I feel
episodes or something.
it wouldn't. Okay, wouldn't that be like that would be like a live die repeat, wouldn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Yep.
Yeah, kind of. That's the only thing I could think of that would like replicate the roguelike nature of it.
Oh man, Ghost
Although
of
that's sure,
Tsushima would actually be great because it's based on movies that are great that do that sort of thing, like samurai
yeah, let's go
movies.
Ghost of Tsushima. That'll be my answer then.
Okay. Of the answers to your first question, which would make the best video game based on that movie? Wait, which one would make the best video game based? Okay, so like how Street Fighter the movie the game existed. Now we have to revert it back.
Yes, yeah.
Among Us.
Yeah. See, I almost feel like Among Us they might lose the whole like
It would be
anyone
like
can
The
be
Sims.
anything, and it would be more kind of tied to like no, it's always gonna. I don't know. I
It would
feel
be like
it
a
would be
mode in
hard.
The Sims almost, because now you're dealing with
Yeah,
people.
maybe something like that where it'd be more scripted.
Yeah, that would be way worse.
I think Ghost of Tsushima, because it's already based on movies, would kind of work.
It's just going in a loop, that game.
It's a weird, yeah, it's a weird loop. Although I think when you brought it back to the game, it wouldn't be an open world at that point.
Yeah, you're
It'd
right.
be something closer to like like an Uncharted or a Tomb Raider, and more narrative single player thing.
Maybe it's a little bit of an unpopular opinion or something, just because I know people really like to get a lot of bang out of their buck when they buy a game. I kind of just wish it was a story-based thing. I didn't need all the other side stuff necessarily.
Enjoyed it though.
Yeah, it was fine.
I liked the main story, but I enjoyed a lot of the side stuff.
Out of the other stuff we were saying, oh my god, what the fuck was it that I was just saying? Oh, Hades. If you'd made a movie of that or something, and then brought it back and made that kind of just like a cool linear, like almost God of War thing, that would actually be kind of neat.
It would just be God of War, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Pretty much. Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Oh, here's another question. Okay, with Among Us winning multiple Game of the Year, winning multiplayer rather, Game of the Year at the Game Awards, it brings up an interesting conundrum. Should it have? I'd argue no. It's not a Game of this year, it's a 2018 game. It could retroactively win multiplayer game of 2018 and take it from previous winner. I don't think it should get anything of 2020. I just completely disagree because it wasn't the multiplayer game of the year in 2018. It's literally the situation where 2020 made it the multiplayer game of the year.
I feel like it's when we talked about this on the stream as well, it's like kind of Among Us is relevant. Like it wasn't relevant in 2018.
Yeah.
So it's almost like I feel like if the way that it makes the most sense, because if you're going by like being super technical, sure, it didn't come out this year. We only have to pick games from this year. But if you look at the year in video games
Yeah.
and don't talk about Among Us, then there's something missing.
You're
there,
missing
right?
out. Yep.
Like
It,
no one's gonna no if you look at the whole year and say what were big tent poles of this year, would be weird not to include Among Us in
totally.
that. Like it is significant to this year.
Yep. Also, it doesn't have anything
guess
to do with the year it was made, because we're not saying what is the best game that was made of this year. We're saying the best multiplayer game of the year is Among Us, because that's when people were playing it. A multiplayer game doesn't fucking exist if people aren't playing it.
I guess it also comes down to, it's like, what is the definition of this category? Is it what is the best multiplayer game of 2020 that came out in 2020, or have they changed their rules to in 2020 what is the best multiplayer game?
I mean, I could
I would
tell you
assume
what
it's
they
not the
say.
second one, because then it's like, why isn't like League of Legends on there?
Right. That's the thing.
But
Yeah.
and we have like a follow up in the chat. Shouldn't that be considered more of an ongoing game?
Not really, because it just started up this year, honestly. So like,
Yeah,
okay,
I feel like ongoing, even though it is a multiplayer game and it will be ongoing and it has been ongoing. I feel like ongoing almost kind of implies a more specific, like, what is it doing to improve itself month after month? Does it have season passes? Does it have follow-ups, community events, yada yada yada?
and
I feel like that's kind of more the spirit of ongoing in terms of how things have kind of gone lately.
so here's a
And they
conundrum
are
for
coming
you.
out with a new map.
What about
So,
Hades?
you know,
Should Hades be
what was
game of
that?
the year? Here's another conundrum I'm going to throw in. Should Hades be game of the year this year? Technically, I played it 3 years ago. Why isn't it
Well,
2018's game of the year? Because that's when I
I
played
get your
it.
point. I guess the thing with that is it went 1.0 this year.
Doesn't matter. I
I'm
still
just saying
played.
that
I still
that could be
paid
the
for
easy
and
argument against it.
I still paid for and played that game in 2018. Well, so shouldn't that by this definition, because it was available to the public, maybe it makes it more of a thing. I didn't pay anything for Among Us on mobile, and I actually did pay for Hades in 2018.
I mean, that also gets into like a weird question of like, what if a game is terrible in its early access and they
Right,
scrap everything and they kind of turn it into something else? It's like,
right.
should you blame it for all the things it was bad for, back when it launched in like 0.1 state?
Like,
Should you
is
only
No
care
Man's
about how
Sky
good
the
it is now?
2020 game of the year? Because that's a fully amazing game, even though it came out like 4 years ago and it was fucking dog shit.
Yeah. I mean, all of these things are just semantics that can
Totally,
be argued in a bunch of different ways. So is ours.
totally.
I understand that. It's why our lists are weird. And, sometimes I put a DLC expansion on my list before because to me, that was one of the 10 best things that year for me. Yada, yada, yada.
Sure.
I think you kind of just don't go in with, you can't take everything really to the letter of the law.
Sure.
I don't think for sure would retroactively win. That seems like a weird thing ever. Does anything happen like that in any kind of like awards?
I don't know. I don't know enough about like Oscars or Grammys or anything, if that necessarily does. That seems like a
There's stuff
really
like
shitty thing
lifetime
to do.
achievement awards,
Yeah,
like for
maybe.
everything you've done so far, but
Yeah.
that's not specifically saying, "Hey, we didn't like award you, 10 years ago. Here's an award for that specific thing you did 10 years ago."
That seems like it would be a really shitty thing to be like, oh, hey, Leo, remember how we said you were actually good in that movie? You fucking weren't. Give it back. Like, what?
Yeah, that would also be crazy. Like, oh, we were wrong, so we're gonna take it from this person. Like, could you imagine taking it from someone? That would suck. There's also a quick follow up in the chat. Wasn't PUBG nominated for Game of the Year when it was still in early
Yeah.
access? I believe it was. To be fair though, that game did hit 1.0 that year. It was just like on Christmas. It was really late. I remember because this was a big thing with Giant Bomb. Because that was clearly going to be their game of the year, but they were really staunchly at that time like it has to be 1.0. It has to yada yada yada. And then it did hit 1.0, so everything kind of worked out for them. But everyone was kind of wondering, like, hey, what are you guys going to do? Like, you guys seriously love PUBG, but you are holding this rule steady. And since then, they've actually changed. They've loosened those rules because of stuff like this. Because, as we can clearly see, game release dates are weird now. Games
Yeah.
evolve drastically. No
And
Man's Sky is completely different from what it used to
and
be.
so does here's the thing is that language evolves too. How we talk about things evolves too. If we're just like going by dates or whatever, like we as the games are evolving and kind of like how we talk about them has to as well. So no, I don't agree that this should be like a 2018 thing because I looked it up just for our record. 2018, Fortnite won best multiplayer. So no, there's no way that this even still beats out how big Fortnite was in 2 years ago. Like,
Sure.
it would still not take it for what that's worth. Do you want the definition of how they go by multiplayer games now? It's not really going to help anything. It's literally just like best game that had like a multiplayer audience, essentially, regardless of platform or genre. Doesn't help it.
Yeah. I think them taking Among Us into this category is in the spirit of the category.
It absolutely is. Yeah.
I think that's kind of the big thing. It didn't come out this year, but it deserves to be and is a part of. It is one of the top multiplayer games of 2020.
Absolutely. It's
I think it would
without a
be
doubt.
weird to say otherwise, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, I think I'm next. Decoy Troy. Do you care how accurate your in-game playtime is?
No, not at all.
I do a bit. Not to the point where I will like turn a game off every time I'm done with it, but to the point where I wish when I paused it, it would pause the game time.
I mean, I'll tell you what I'm annoyed by. I'm annoyed at this half-assed thing that Nintendo does where it's like, you've been playing it for about a week. It's like, what? No, just like if you tell me or don't tell me. What the fuck is this like?
Oh, I see what
started
you're
this
saying.
3
Yes.
days ago.
Until like after a week you've played it, then it's like you've played it for about 5 hours. I was gonna go the other way with Nintendo, where some games don't have like standby mode fully enabled,
Oh, yeah.
so the timer keeps going. So it's like, I think my Deadly Premonition save is like 99 hours, and it's
Oh,
like I've
man.
played maybe 8.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I keep putting it to sleep. Yeah, that's also super annoying.
Lineback writes in, so what fast food chains do you want to get movies to? This is regards in that KFC Colonel Sanders movie that is coming to Netflix in a week about. I definitely want a crime drama where the Hamburglar is stealing burgers from the, I don't remember the name of the Mayor McCheese or something.
Eric Cheese, yeah. I think that's the best. That's the one with like the most cast of characters.
Yeah.
Like, you need a bunch of characters. Like Colonel Sanders has the Colonel.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there other KFC characters?
Maybe a chicken.
Somewhere like Wendy's has Wendy.
Mm-hmm.
There's the Taco Bell dog. I feel like most places have one, and then McDonald's has like dozens and such.
Wendy's, you could do a story of a woman from the country living in the big city and trying to make her way by opening a fast food restaurant.
Okay. Couldn't you do that for like any of them, but swap Wendy out for a southern dude named the Colonel, or whose nickname is the Colonel?
Nope.
He makes some great fried chicken.
Nope, because the Colonel has a movie.
I guess Chuck E. Cheese has a selection of characters. I can't think of much of a storyline because they're all just like, we're in a band.
Yeah.
And then there's the mouse.
It's like a Pixar short or something.
Or it's Five Nights at Freddy's. If we're being honest.
For sure.
The Taco Bell dog is like Beverly Hills Chihuahua. It's one of those. It goes
Yeah.
on a wacky adventure.
Oh. That exists.
All right, two left. Gotta get out of here, man. This podcast is so long, and
Yep.
there's only two of us. Rinku asks, in your opinion, what was the better Sony burn? $2.99 against the Sega Saturn at E395, or their official PlayStation used game instructional video in response to the Xbox One's initial reveal. For those who don't know what these are, when the Sega Saturn was announced, Sony came out immediately, did the PlayStation 1, much more powerful console, completely ate Sega's lunch. No one cared about the Saturn. That's why the Saturn tanked. Pretty similar story with the Dreamcast as well and the PS2. Anyways, and then the official PlayStation news game went and the Xbox One was revealed. They were going for a much more PC-like structure where you would put the disc in, it would like auto install, and then you don't need the disc anymore, much like older PC games. But it means you couldn't use used games because it was like a one-time thing. Sony came out with a silly video where they were like, here's how we deal with used games, and they just like passed a copy of a game off to their friend, just like regular. What's the better burn?
I mean, I don't hear anybody talking about the Sega Saturn no more.
True. I think the used game one did more because I feel like that completely crippled the Xbox One for so long, and probably what gave PS4 the win for the whole generation.
Could be, yeah. They're both pretty good, honestly, for PR moves. For sure. Dansky, is there a game title you can think of that's iconic or unintentionally comedic? For example, it's ironic that Remember Me is one of the most forgettable games of the 7th generation. Pretty good.
Still want to play that. That's Don't Nod. I want to play that game.
Remember Me. You just always forget about it.
Yeah. Well, it's also yeah, basically. Ironic or unintentionally comedic.
They never tell you why and tell me why.
They do.
No, they don't. You infer everything. Nobody tells you anything.
Well, the whole story is them wanting to be told why.
Yeah, Final Fantasy is a good one. Yeah, and like any of them. Final Fantasy 15. Yeah, any number.
That's the ultimate one for sure.
That's a great one. Yep.
The Walking Dead.
Oh, shit. Yeah. It's like military intelligence. You know what I mean?
We're the Walking Dead. You get it?
Oh, one that this isn't really an answer, but kind of. One that made me freak out was when I realized The Evil Within is another way to say Resident Evil, because it's made by the same dude, and that like blew my fucking brain.
Saw that. Interesting. Okay, sure.
It blew my fucking mind. Okay, question for Paul.
It makes way more sense than Resident Evil anyway. Resident Evil is just a nonsense phrase.
Right, but that's what it means, right? Is the evil within. So, like, that's why it's like, why didn't I notice that sooner? Fuck. Okay, second part of the question for Paul and Sean, which is good. Since John's answer is a resounding yes, have you ever bought a game you knew you were never going to play? And if so, what was the reason? I have a legit and cop-out answer for this. Cop-out answer, I've bought games for friends before that I know that I like.
It's a cop-out, yep.
It's a cop-out. In the spirit of the question, no. I don't buy things that I'm not going to get to. Oh, no, there's one situation. It's when I have played a game or know that I really like something, I will buy another copy of it to support the studio on like another platform or something.
Interesting. I have one kind of similar to that. I have bought physical versions of games that I've only owned digitally because I wanted them on my shelf. Well, okay. I don't even need to unwrap this. I will never use it.
That's a John thing right there.
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
I feel like the John one is more like, I would love to play this game. I know who I am. I know what I'm doing. Take my money.
Sure.
But I've definitely bought like a few games being like I've definitely bought a ton of like Japanese games where it's like I really am not going to get to play much out of this, but it is 10 cents and I am buying anything I can while I'm here.
That seems like an exception to the rule, but sure. It still counts,
Yes,
I guess.
yeah. Um for the most part when I'm buying a game, it is definitely like, oh, I really do plan to play this.
Yeah. Like
And there's
almost
definitely
right
been
away.
times where I just haven't. I've never gotten to it for whatever reason, but when I bought it, I was fully like, as soon as this is done, I'm going to play this, and then one thing led to another.
You're actually pretty good about that too, because I know a lot of people that pre-order and then they never get to it. Like you actually do eventually pick it up.
For the most part, I try to, yeah. But then there's stuff like I've not gone back to Watch Dogs. I don't know if I'm ever going to because I know the
Yeah.
control scheme is weird, and I've probably forgotten everything from Watch Dogs 3 at this point.
But at least you like tried it because you thought you were
Yep.
going to play it. So
All right, that's going to do it for questions. Again, if you would like to send in questions for next week, it's topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box as your game of the week.
13 Sentinels.
And mine is, I don't know.
Probably Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk, I guess. All right. If you hadn't heard, we talked over the Game Awards yesterday. You should go watch that stream. I'm told it will be on the Top Down Perspective YouTube channel.
As of
And a
people hearing
reminder-
this not live, I'll have it up probably tonight or tomorrow morning.
And a reminder, the community game of the year response survey is available. Check our Twitter, check the announcements section on our Discord. If you haven't voted yet, you have the entire month of December, so no rush, but definitely do get those in before our game of the year show. If you're a patron, go and vote on the patron poll. That is over on the Patreon. And we did did we do an episode last week or was that 2 weeks ago on TDP? Mega Man episode is up. If you haven't watched that, go listen to the Mega Man episode. Bug Snacks is the winner, so get excited for Bug Snacks.
Woo!
Anyways, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for listening.
Bye bye.